Hi everyone, I'm Jessica. I'd like to talk to you today about our case study, which is on Zara International. Zara's first ever store was opened in 1975 in the coastal city of A Coruña by their founder Amancio Ortega. And I'm not sure if you know this, but Zara has a parent company called Inditex. If you're unfamiliar with what a parent company is, it's a business that owns controlling interests in another business and can control its activities. Zara has more than 2,200 stores in 96 countries. They are famous for its fast fashion, and once a clothing line is sold, all the lines are replaced with new lines of the latest trends, straight away at reasonable prices, targeting a young audience. One of the management strategies they use is just-in-time inventory system. They use this strategy to increase efficiency and decrease waste by receiving stock only when they need them, which reduces inventory costs. They have many competitors. Some of them are well-known companies such as H&M, Gap, and Gap Inc., just to name a few. Now that we've gone to know Zara International and its background, I think it's time that we talk about some issues I've identified or things I would improve within the company. The first issue I found is the just-in-time production. The problem is pretty much in its name. Just-in-time means that the clothing, for example, is made and sent out just as they need it, which could go very bad if any part of the production is disrupted in any way. And it also depends largely on precise ordering between Zara and their suppliers. If any error is made, the production could be set back. Another issue I would like to identify is the difference in stock arrival between European stores and American and Asian stores. European stores get their stock in 24 hours, and American and Asian stores get theirs within 48 hours. A suggestion I would make is to change that by having an inventory warehouse within America and Asia, so that they get stock just as quickly as European stores, especially if they are wanting to still use the just-in-time strategy. The third issue I'd like to address is the limited stock they order. Once a clothing line is sold, it's gone, and it won't be restocked or reproduced, just replaced by new designs straight away. The issue with this is the company could be missing out on potential customers and extra profit. The fourth issue I'd like to change is how the new stock is brought into the store. New stock is brought in on black plastic hangers, and the old stock is hung on wooden hangers, which says to a regular customer that this stock is old and is pretty much turning them off the product, which could potentially make customers avoid the old stock and make selling the old stock harder. Another issue I would like to address is the CEO cutting expenses wherever and whenever, which could again potentially make them lose customers or not gain new ones. For example, if there's too much cutting of expenses on production, the company could lose customers if the clothing isn't made from good quality materials, and if the clothing is falling apart too easily or quickly, could affect sales. So Zara only spends 0.3% of their sales on advertisement, and other competitors spend about 3 to 4% on their advertisement. I suggest they should up their percentage spent on advertisement, as it could draw in new customers. I believe that with Zara continuously expanding each year, they will run into problems in certain areas of the company. The first is the company's logistics system, not being able to handle the increased workload, which could hinder production and ultimately sales. The second problem is with Zara's expansions into other countries. This may cause problems with their fast fashion system, as different countries have different cultures and different trends to take into consideration, which ultimately means they have to come up with new ideas for separate countries and cultures to compensate for this.
Go. Zara International is an extremely well-run business which keeps up with the growing demand for fashion and runway looks within mainstream society. Therefore, its key issues within the business rely on the need to sustain their growth and continue to maintain a high level of performance and efficiency. Future growth. Zara is extremely innovative and different to any other leading retail brand. The business pays special attention to their entire supply chain process and is solely controlled by Zara itself. The main concern is the ever-growing fashion industry, entailing more consumers to cater to and an increase in items being sold by demand. This outlines the need for the company to seek an expansion in order to maintain the same level of control and satisfaction. Zara is already currently trading in over 88 countries, with the strategy of maintaining low inventory, enticing customers to impulse buy items due to the established fast turnover. This further enhances the issue of an increase in customers demanding a high volume of items. With increase in popularity, more stores are being placed in more locations. Therefore, Zara needs to sustain their growth without faltering on any of their processes. Need for employee empowerment. Zara International prides itself on ethical business behaviour indicated in the 2018 Ethical Fashion Report. The business maintains high ratings for their policies, sources of their materials, and their relationships with both suppliers and auditors. Zara does, however, falter on their employee empowerment with a B rating. Employee empowerment is an extremely important aspect. A business should aim to motivate their employees to receive the best outcomes and increase productivity. This can increase satisfaction and morale, increasing the likelihood of the employee being loyal and optimum performance levels. This is especially needed within the stressful environment of Zara due to their fast turnover of goods. Fast turnover. Zara International is an extremely innovative business whose sole focus is to keep up to date with the latest trends. To do this, Zara needs to ensure efficient forecasting methods are being used to maintain an advantage over upcoming trends to produce, transport, and sell in a quick manner. This entails high levels of support from management and trust within the employees, as they enforce decisions and source information on potential upcoming items and goods which are selling quickly. Zara uses decision-making based on the customer itself by analysing what sells, then increasing its volume in the next shipment, if known to be in demand. This creates levels of uncertainty and an increase in levels of stress due to the quick turnovers for both manufacturers and employees. It also means that management is heavily relying on employees to source this information based on the customer's feedback. This has the possible issues of inaccuracy for Zara. Full transparency of sourced materials. Zara International is known for their ethical standards of sourced materials, with full transparency of all raw materials. Although this does not include their leather products, as Zara is yet to state their sources for this type of material, this indicates the possibility of inhumane practices and leads to a bad perception for the business.
Zara International's exemplary business performance is due to their employment of the theories of management including planning, leadership, organising and controlling. Planning is the process of setting objectives and determining how to accomplish them. Zara's short-term planning strategies are the primary reason for this success by tailoring their company to lightning quick turnarounds of the latest designer trends, refreshing their stock extremely quickly. However, due to the expansion of 400 stores per year, there may be future problems of planning encountered by the company which need to be remedied. To minimise this problem, Zara should engage in management by objectives to implement the best operational long-term plans to sustain their competitive advantage over their competitors. This can be achieved by coordinating ideas between senior management figures and employees. Alongside its performance in other management indicators, Zara shows effective leadership skills and highlights the success of underlying leadership theories. This is evidenced by the modelling of the Varun Jago leadership participation theory, in which they empower subordinates to help with decision making, garnering several opinions on key decisions to maximise profit. Furthermore, Zara shows moral leadership by displaying integrity, by sourcing alternatives to leather and fur products, and transparency with customers, with limited forced labour of children. If these methods continue, Zara's performance will only improve, and as they find credible actions of management to and increase demand for their products. Zara's organising process is also exemplary by following recent trends of organisation through delegation and empowerment of employees, as suggested by their rank of a B in a scale of 1 to E in the 2016 Australian Fashion Report for Worker Empowerment. Additionally, following a divisional structure by grouping workers based on their location, processes and produce, Zara gains flexibility in responding to rapid changes in the fashion industry. Zara's controlling process, which is the insurance of knowledges of the processes and operations of an organisation, facilitate any necessary changes to be made. Zara facilitates their changes by using the employment of just-in-time scheduling and inventory control. This reduces sunk costs of inventory because the limiting of profit sharing with wholesalers and intermediate partners, thus maximising their profit margins and achieving the long-term economic aim of profit for the business. Additionally, the use of concurrent controls by changing on the go and reviewing the best-selling products and rapidly responding consumer demands highlights the effectiveness of their controlling techniques by ensuring that business performance is maximised.
Zara International already controls a large market share of the fast fashion industry, 18.9% in Australia. However, their advantage mostly comes from the vast production and distribution network already established by Inditex. This advantage is not protected, and as competitors such as H&M and Gap Inc. continue to expand their operations, it erodes this advantage from the company. If the company establishes a protected competitive advantage that competitors cannot emulate, their market position will be more secure. Zara International already maintains a cost leadership advantage, being able to produce designer clothing for around $35 an item. This is largely attributed to their small production runs and low advertising, reducing their total cost of each item. With enough time, competitors will be able to reduce their costs and compete at the same price as the company. They also have an operational efficiency advantage through the use of Inditex's distribution networks. The network is highly efficient and does not use intermediaries such as wholesalers, shortening their turnarounds. This advantage is not exclusive to Zara and can be recreated by competitors. Zara makes use of its highly competent staff to create 1,200 designs per batch and have the selected designs available in store after 2 weeks. If the company were to form contracts with key global fashion designers and outsource some of their design workload, it would get them an exclusive competitive advantage and help further reduce their already short turnaround. It must be noted that this strategy could potentially have a negative impact on the company's differentiation. Inditex has a number of commitments to the environment and plans on reducing the impact of the company on the environment, from their global energy strategy to the use of recycled goods. However, they source some materials from countries in Asia for their cheap price and import them to Zara's production facilities in Spain, then ship them back to various stores throughout the world to be sold. This presents a large consumption of unsustainable fuel sources, also producing emissions that have a negative impact on the environment. As the company continues to expand its operations and its supply chain, it must increase their efforts to offset their impact on the environment. With the growing demand for eco-friendly apparel, the company has made great commitments to sustainable production of materials and the use of recycled materials. Although this appears to be a positive for the environment, it has to be noted that many eco-friendly materials such as cotton consume more water than synthetic materials, and in order to maximize output, farmers often use pesticides that have negative health implications for workers and other elements of the production chain. As both eco-friendly and synthetic materials both have considerable negative impacts on the most effective method to minimize impacts on workers and the environment is through the development of the more efficient methods of production and encouraging sustainable farming processes. Fast fashion industry is known to have high barriers to entry, requiring large supply chains and high turnovers in order to compete on price with major competitors in the industry. This is a positive for the company in terms of deterring new entrants to the market, but as competition between major players is increasing, it is important for the company to continue to expand its operations, further entrenching their position in the market. Owning stores in key locations is another important factor influencing the industry, and continued expansion to claim such areas only serves to further benefit the company. As competition on factors such as fashion trends, price, garment quality, and customer service continues to increase, it is important for Zara to continue to analyse their competition, finding points of strength and weakness within themselves and their competition. Once their own strengths have been identified, they should be used to further differentiate themselves. It would also be beneficial for the company to pay attention to the competitors' distribution networks. Despite the efficiency of their own network, improvements in technology and other factors could produce more efficient distribution methods. That's it.
Zara International does not use real fur or angora and claims to only use wool that does not contain any sheepskin. Products that have been animal tested are also banned from being stocked within Zara stores. Zara should continue to buy these products from their current suppliers, as well as stick by the current ban on materials and items that have caused harm to animals in order to keep their already high animal welfare rating. On the contrary, Zara International does stock leather items and refuses to disclose the supplier of cow skin. Research should be conducted to find a supplier that slaughters the animals in a way that causes less suffering, as well as being less wasteful with the rest of the carcass. Vegan leather also needs to be supplied for those who do not wish to purchase real leather. These changes to the current animal welfare policy will sustain and increase Zara's animal welfare rating. Zara International has been rated highly for the policies, auditing, and superior relations. They have also been rated well for their relationships with their suppliers. Suppliers of Zara must follow their code of conduct, which includes a tracking system that allows them to know exactly how products are made and where the material was sourced. A strict ban on child labour is also in place, banning anyone under the age of 16 to work in their factories. These policies and practices need to continue to be implemented for Zara to continue to keep the high ratings they have been assigned. Employee empowerment can be improved on with an assigned rating of just above average. This could be increased by training managers to communicate with their team in more effective ways. Allowing members of each team to be in charge of specific roles, as well as supplying each member an opportunity to give regular feedback to higher-ups will quickly improve the given rating. I need to do more.
Zara's parent company Inditex has started a repair and reuse program called Closing the Loop. The program offers customers the opportunity to drop off their used garment in store or throw the post in order for their clothes to gain a second life. One of Inditex's goals is that by 2020 they will no longer send anything to landfills from their own headquarters, logistics centers, stores, and factories. They use the greenhouse protocol to guide the measurement and reporting of their carbon emissions and have set an intensity target to reduce emissions from their own operations by 15% by 2020. However, they have no set target for the supply chain. Despite this, reports have actually shown moderate increase in electricity and energy consumptions, whilst Inditex have stated they have water reduction initiatives, and there is talk of how company plans to reduce their water footprint through a master action plan. There is no evidence of set targets to reduce water wastage. The labor conditions, the 2018 ethical fashion report, which looks at criteria including payment of a living wage, transparency, and worker empowerment initiatives, gave Zara an A+ in policies, auditing, and supplier relations, an A for knowing their suppliers, and B for working empowerment. Suppliers and manufacturers partners with Inditex are required to follow their code of conduct, and their traceability systems allow them to know exactly how their products are made and where they come from. Inditex also stated it has a total ban on child labor, forbidding any employees under the age of 16 to work in their factories, as well as ban on their forced labor description in the workplace. So this is how Zara's user market development strategies. First, it identifies potential user groups in current sales area. For example, some customers believe that Gap is for high schoolers and college students. Zara is timeless, classic, and unique. In fact, it is a good idea to analyze students' opinion on fashion. It is really a big market. Second, Zara considers selling a new location in a new market. Zara parent company Inditex Go, fastest growing clothing manufacturer in the world. Zara Inditex fastest growing division turns into inventory twice as fast as major competitors, within an inventory to sale of 7% compared to the industry average of 14%. Their profitability in European operations 15% higher than of their major competitors. From the Inditex annual report, the researchers that Zara focus on the development fashion market or country. For example, it has 20 shops in Belgium, 48 shops in Portugal, and 98 shops in France, compared with 7 shops in China and 3 shops in Thailand. So continuing with the product development strategies, management should also consider new product possibilities. Zara develop new features quickly because it has fast development from concept to point of sale. On average, it takes 6 weeks. Zara's affordable fashion positioning clearly denotes that it is not a luxury brand. It targets customers are a great number of people that are eager to purchase fashion while quite sensitive to prices. They want to be different and unique. The relentless introduction of new products in a small quantities to fast speed and at affordable prices seems to the answer to a large-scale customization requirements of the target customers. Zara also has a super business teams which constantly monitoring external developments, customers on catwalks at airport, shopping areas, and sport events, movies, and other events. It seems that Zara has has 200 of such teams traveling the world within the aim of discovering new fashion and behavior and trends. This helps explain why Zara's team, and which consists of passionate, enabled designers, experienced market specialists, and procurement and production planners, is able to annually create approximately 40,000 new designs, which from about 10,000 are quickly selected for and put into production. Most importantly thing is, instead of more quantities per style, Zara produces more styles, roughly 12,000 a year. Thus, even a style sells out very quickly. There is new styles already waiting to take up the space. Thank you.
Yeah, let's go. Within 1 week, research will be conducted on leather alternatives and suppliers, as well as manager courses on empowering employees. Within 1 month, a leather alternative and supplier should be found. Within 3 months, vegan leather as well as leather will be used for the same design. These designs will be shipped out to stores. An open inbox will also be established for employees. A team of employees will be hired to sift through these letters. Within 1 year, employee empowerment training for managers will be established. All managers will undergo this training, as well as all new managers. The employee empowerment rating as well as worker satisfaction will increase.